Aloha, friends and family. Welcome back to the Body and Soul Wisdom Podcast. I have with me this week Mary Beth Perrone, who lives in my community in Northeast Florida. Her passion for women's topics is evidenced by her contributions to women's health and wellness in many, many forms, physically, mentally, and spiritually. Through her work as CEO and founder of Radiate Wellness, she has helped thousands of women through their perimenopause and menopause journey. As a co-founder and host of the Women's Wellness Fest, Mary Beth has empowered thousands of women by creating the largest Women's Wellness Fest in Florida. By offering healing modalities to empower, nurture, rejuvenate women's minds, bodies, and souls. Thank you so much, Mary Beth, for being with me again on another live episode and now welcoming you to the podcast. How are you today?
Thank you so much for having me. I'm great. How are you?
I'm doing great too. You have lots of exciting things going on with women's wellness these days. Tell us a little bit about what a few of those offerings are that you're working through right now.
So, Radiate Wellness is a product line, but we also offer education and different things to help women through midlife and beyond. And a key thing that I found that every single woman needs as we transition through midlife and any part of our life is community. Our longevity and our vitality is very linked scientifically to community. We can live in average of over 10 years more with community. And so that I'm super, super passionate about getting like-minded women together anytime I can. So yeah.
Awesome. And you're doing that through the annual Women's Wellness Fest. You offer retreats, you have a monthly membership program that you're growing this community through. And I agree that community and tribe is kind of like almost a lost secret that I feel like we've kind of lost over time. I think of like our ancestors way back hundreds of years ago and how important it was for women to gather and to share their wisdom and to pass it down for generations. So I love that you're creating this community through the products and the services that you offer. Would you be willing to share a little bit about what led you to this passion on women's or in women's midlife health?
So for me, it was a personal journey, which I think many of us start with at 38. I really was feeling the perimenopause symptoms pretty hard. For the first time in my life, I was feeling anxiety that I never had. I kept chalking it off as stress. I started gaining weight and I was exercising and eating healthy. So I just could not figure out. And I'm very in tune with my body. Like I was trying to connect the dots and nothing was making sense in my head. And I just remember a very low moment. I was traveling. I got off a flight from New York and I was going to North Carolina in the mountains, which is my happy place with my family. And I had tears rolling down my eyes. And at that point, I was like, I can't chalk this off as stress anymore. There is something more going on. I felt like I was coming out of my skin. And when I found a world renowned hormone doctor and found out it was just perimenopause, it really made me shift my whole life to offer tools to all women so we don't have to feel like we have to suffer through this
Mm.
time in life. It should be a great time of transformation, mind, body, and soul, and not a time that we don't feel good. Our bodies are changing. So yeah, it set me on my journey. And
I
it is
love
a journey.
it is totally a journey, and I love that reflection of we don't have to suffer alone, that the help is out there. Maybe you just don't know that what you're experiencing is part of perimenopause or menopause, and that actually, what if we shifted it from you use the word suffering, but like discomfort to a celebration of stepping into, because there's so many wonderful things about being a woman in your 40s and 50s, like the wisdom that comes with it, the releasing of care about what other people think is huge. And when you have the tools to take care of yourself, to nourish yourself properly, to get the hormone testing done that you need, to find the supplements or the or resources to help you move through that, we can actually shift from sort of like this grieving process of stepping away from the, kind of the younger mother or that sort of maiden archetype, and really stepping into and owning sort of the wise woman and all that she holds, because it's happening whether we're, embracing it or resisting it. And I love that you use those words, like, you don't have to suffer alone. And what happens if we shift into celebrating this? Can you share with us the different, and maybe just from your own personal experience, what wasn't available for you that you've created for other women as you were going through this process? Because there are a couple of different aspects to it. There is the nutrition component, there's the movement component to keep our bodies, our muscle mass, and our bone density. There are foods and supplements that can help us. And then, of course, there's, if you go to your OBGYN, you can get blood work done and you can do hormone replacement therapy. There's all kinds of choices. And I know that for a lot of women, this can feel overwhelming. So, would you be able to share with us how you navigated through that in order to create the service and offering that you provide to support women?
So I think really education and awareness is where it starts because so many women don't even know what the symptoms are. And so I work really hard on letting women know, like, if I could tell you the amount of aha moments I've had with women that they're like, wait, that could be my hormones, or wait, this anxiety. So like the awareness is shifting and there is more coming out, which is really exciting because if you are alive and aging, you are going to go through menopause and perimenopause at some point, and not all women symptoms are as severe. And there's also a lot of band-aids that are given from a very early age of, girls getting these symptoms earlier because if they've been on put on the pill, or other things, and sleeping aids and all these things. So I've seen the gamut of it. And so really, like, where even in my own personal journey when I started this company, it was the supplement part. And then I realized, like, yeah, it's important, but it's just one tool in the toolbox. And the toolbox, the complete toolbox, is your nutrition and the mindful practices and the testing. So it all go and community, it all goes hand in hand. So we try to offer solutions to women and give them that information, give them the tools, and give them um, a community, because I think all of those are all interconnected for our overall well-being.
So you've created a very holistic and integrated offering for women where there's a focus on well-being that addresses the nourishment, the nutrition part, the mental well-being, the importance of, because as you've mentioned, one of the symptoms of perimenopause can be increased anxiety, and also the component of having access to uh, some blood work testing that can help women to identify where they are and what can help them. And from that, you've also created a line of products through Radiate Wellness that are skin creams that I happen to enjoy. I've also given them as gifts at my women's retreat. I specifically really love the Radiate Calm because I love L-theanine. and I've never, disrupted sleep is one of the symptoms that I've experienced in perimenopause, that along with hair loss. And so those are the two symptoms I think I've been at the point that I'm at that I've been navigating. And so and then also being the mother of teenage daughters that are also navigating hormonal changes, I feel like it's really nice to have something that isn't prescription grade strong, but it is like a little bit of a boost if you're somebody who doesn't have really extreme symptoms, at least in my experience with the products that you offer. Can you tell us a little bit about maybe the full line of what you offer and then your top two sellers at this time?
So everything's transdermal, so it's plant-based, very clean formulas. That's important to me. Your skin's your largest organ, so absorbing things through your skin is a safe and effective way. So that to me was a really important part of creating this company too. So magnesium and L-theanine. Magnesium is a cofactor over 300 functions in your body. This is my answer to a lot. I have been known to pull it out of my purse and put it on strangers. Like the little extra angst of anxiety helps with sleep. It helps with sore muscles, helps with constipation. I'm like, this is magic in a bottle, and I love it. And it is one of our best sellers. And if I could shout it from the rooftop, like two gifts I'd give to every woman is magnesium and vitamin D. Vitamin D, these are both super essential for hormone health, but vitamin D is so overlooked and has such an effect on our bodies for our immune health, it's our happy making hormone. So like there's so much that comes out of vitamin D. So these two, I feel like if you don't want to dip your toe into HRT or any of that, like these alone can make a huge, huge, huge difference in your overall health. So those are definitely bestsellers, and over and over and over again, they're reordered. So those are great. And then there's Radiate Balance, which is a natural progesterone cream. So if you want to step it up a little bit and HRT is in your heart, that's a great something great to try. And that's how I started this whole company. I started on this natural progesterone cream, and within 3 weeks, I felt back to myself, and I suffered for 6 months. So that's a great option too. So I would say those are our best sellers. For sure. And we have a facial moisturizer because we know our skin also changes and thins and the wrinkles. So that's a huge help there. That's Radiate Beauty. So Radiate Calm, Magnesium, Radiate Joy, Vitamin D, Radiate Balance, Natural Progesterone Cream. And I call that the perimenopause pack. So if you're in perimenopause, you can't go wrong with it. And it is also an affordable option, and more affordable than a lot of other options. For all of that, that's $110, and it lasts you for almost 2 months. Everyone and I always say, I'm here to give information. You have to see what sings to your heart. I will never convince anyone to try anything. People like pellets. That's great. For me, pellets feel like a little too extreme. You can't change the dosage. With cream, it's great. You're having a bad day, throw on an extra pump. You need to switch your dosage, take a pump off. Like I like the flexibility of changing and switching doses. So that's something that works for me, and it's an affordable way to do it. And all women have access to it. So that was all the pillars that are important to my company: affordable, clean products, and access to all women. And that's Radiate. And as a quick sum up.
I do love what you shared around the flexibility to, really because it inspires us to connect with our body and to listen to our body, and which of course I'm a huge teacher of in-body wisdom. So I love that you shared that part where it's more empowering for us to be connected and a part of the aging process, because if when we choose to really listen to the wisdom of our bodies and we step into this co-creation with the aging gracefully process, it does feel like more of a celebration. It can feel more pleasurable and enjoyable because we get to, just the energy that you said around that, like we get to really own that this is the phase of life that we're in, and we can embrace it because there really is so much goodness that comes with it. Like in the big picture, where we are with the age of our children or in our marriages or relationships, or really just owning our own personal truth, is for many of us, when we really choose to put the intention on well-being, can lead to a lot more ease and flow in life, which is a really wonderful place to be. So I like that you shared that we get to choose how much do we need. And so when somebody, I know you have other products than just the three that you listed. Would you like to share the other creams too, just for the listeners so they can, or are they, have they been released yet?
Oh, no, no. So Radiate Rest is melatonin, magnesium, and L-theanine. So that, if you really are having sleep trouble, I think that's a great way, a tool to balance you out. You don't need to be on it forever. Again, I'm an advocate of that. Like, let's get the tools and support to get us where we need to be. And then there's other options, and then you can move on to calm, which is a little bit less and has magnesium and L-theanine. So I try to give women all the support, and then we can adjust and move where we need to. Radiate Vitality is for women that have been through menopause and has progesterone, estradiol, and estriol in it. So that's a great combination. So there's a menopause pack, a perimenopause pack. So there's different ways you can work and look what you need in the time. And something that, speaking that, like, I'm 45 now and I feel like I've never felt better. I don't think I've ever, like, talk about celebrating. I feel the best in my own skin, like celebrating aging. Like, this is the best part for me, and really owning who I am. But I have to say, to get to that point, it was nice to have the tools. And I think when we feel good, then we're able to then do the work in other parts of our life. Like at the part where I was really feeling those hard perimenopause symptoms, like it was even hard to do the other work because I felt
Mhm.
really bad. And so when I get to see women come on the other side of it, and like they start to, some of the physical symptoms start to go away, and then you see this like whole world open up, and then they start, working out more, and they want to take the mindful classes, like watching all the shifts in front of my eyes has, that's why I do what I do. And I love the work because it's so nice. When we start to feel better, then everything shifts in our life. Our relationship shift, our marriages shift, everything shifts, and it's really beautiful.
1,000%. I couldn't agree with you more. Energy is everything. And when we create those shifts, our our relationships are better with our children because we feel better. We have more energy. We're not overwhelmed and exhausted and stressed out. Our marriage is better. It's like we shift from surviving to thriving. And
Yes.
yeah, and it's such a,
Yes.
and that's what 40s and 50s can be about. It's when you have the tools and the community. And what I love about the community aspect is that it really gives women permission to use their voice, to ask for the help, to talk about it so they know that they're not alone. And it's really powerful to be in community with other women specifically who are navigating the same thing, because there's so many topics even deeper than what we're talking about, like your libido and your energy and your physical, like your hair thinning and your pelvic floor muscles. Like there's so many things that are a part of it that I think when you're by yourself, you're just like, what is happening? And why is it happening so fast? And like, is this normal? And what can I do about it? And so when you get into a community with women and you have the awareness and the tools, and you have access to things that are affordable and clean that can gently facilitate small changes, because some people are a little, they're not ready to go all in. They kind of, they just want to learn a little bit and try, you know a little bit here and there first. I know it can feel scary for some women to even step into this conversation and to even go to the OBGYN and, think about creating a whole new routine around hormone replacement therapy or whatever the choice is. So it's, I just really want to emphasize that aspect of the community and giving women permission to really navigate their own experience. And it sounds like you have packages for women based on where they are in their journey with nutrition and supplements and guidance and mindfulness. And am I missing anything else?
No,
Yeah.
that's what we try to incorporate all of it. Like I do free meditations because, when we learn how to tap into that breath, and we got to enjoy that together today, like that, there's so many different levels, and some people want their hand held through the whole experience, and we offer those packages too because it's so important. And some people just want their cream, and that works for them. So I think, like you said, I think offering all of that in the different levels is really important. And a lot of companies aren't doing that. It's a product, you get it, and you're just a number. Where I feel like my company is really different because you're not just a number, and um, giving you the support for any level you want, that is really important to me. And I like to see the whole journey through it. Like I love when I get to hear how women's lives have changed. Like there's so much, it's just a beautiful part of it. So
Yes, I agree. So, for the women who are listening, what is the process that they can expect once they go onto your website and they're interested in maybe learning more or potentially adding in some of these creams and supplements to their regime?
So I think testing is an important first step that we offer, and you can do that right at home because it just gives you a baseline so you know what you're working with. It's an easy test, and I think that's something that you can, it's a good jumping off point. If you already know where you're at, there's a symptoms tracker, and we can look at the symptoms you have and address from there. Or I think it gives women the opportunity too that they're like, I'm not into the products, but I want to work with a nutritionist. Great, that works for you. Or I just want the community aspect of it. Great, that's there for you as well. So, but I would say if you are looking to add HRT or supplements to your routine, a great way to start off is do the testing and then get your baseline, and we can help you from there.
So it sounds like a consultation is offered at the very beginning. Is that right?
Yes.
So, does the consultation come with the testing and then like a follow-up consultation? And then from there, are there sort of pathways depending on where they are in their journey? And
Yes.
okay,
Yes. So testing first, then you go over your results with a registered nurse. And at that point, she'll make suggestions of where your levels are. And then if that's not the path you want to take, there's a nutritional package where you get a 40-minute initial call with a registered nurse, and she is a registered dietitian, and she can help you with some like toxin swaps that you might need or some food swaps to really make you feel better. So we try to find a package that feels right for you. Or if you just want to jump on and get some calm cream, you can go on and just order that as well. So
awesome. And so I know that my community of podcast listeners are spread out all over the country and even the world. And I know that we both live in Northeast Florida and you offer community events here monthly and also an annual Women's Wellness Fest. What do you offer for people who don't live in the area if they want to connect with you or learn or other women and learn more about women's wellness?
So we do offer a free Hormones 101 course every single month. And a lot of women convene on that call once a month. And then after, there's 20 minutes of just free time, which is great community because that's where a lot opens up and women start talking about different symptoms they have. So that's a beautiful way to start. We don't have an online community yet that is across the country other than that Hormones 101, because when I do it, I want to make sure it's meaningful and done right. And that to me is an important part. So we have some ideas of doing pop-ups in different cities and things like that. But right now, for community outside our area, is just that Hormones 101 course.
Okay.
And
And
it's free.
also, well, and they're also invited to come to Northeast Florida for the Women's Wellness Fest because Florida
I,
is a wonderful place to visit. We just happen to live in a really nice place that, if you'd like, you can come for the weekend. This year it's going to be, well, every year it's around Earth Day. Is that right?
yes,
Yeah.
celebrating Mother Earth and each other.
Yeah, it's so beautiful because it's an energy that is naturally within each of us, and just the symbolism of Mother Earth helps. It feels like it invites us to really tap into that inner wisdom that's already within us and to align with Earth's natural cycles, which this is one of those cycles that we're navigating together at this age. What is something that you wish that you knew sooner?
Ooh, girl,
Just
do we
one?
have enough
No.
time? Oh, one thing I knew sooner. I think the worthiness of myself, right? Like I think that's also with age when you reflect back of why you made certain choices, and when you really deep dive into it, it comes down to worthiness and programming.
Mhm.
So I think knowing my power, right? Like what makes me me and special is my power. And so I think worthiness.
I would have to, with 15 years experience coaching women, I would say that that is where it starts. And no matter what, if it's health coaching, life coaching, business coaching, hormone coaching, whatever it is, I feel like this, in my words, what I've always referred to is like that wellspring of water of just constant abundance and resourcefulness, that when we know at like a being our own fountain or spring of worthiness, to where we know it's so deeply rooted in the earth that from that place we can then give from a place of being resourced and aligned. And it's just this visualization that I've always had carried with me for probably about 6 or 7 years, is this, I like, because in Florida we have springs that just keep flowing. And so when we're really aligned and in tune, we can really step into that over, and when we know our worth, we can really live from a place of just like overflowing abundance and joining together with other women in community around that. So I love that you shared all that. Is there anything else, any upcoming events or courses or nuggets of wisdom that you'd like to leave the listeners with as we wrap this up today?
I will say your journal of prosperity has actually changed my life because I think it really made me look at a different relationship with money and some narratives I told myself. So I do suggest that to every
Ah,
woman
thank
because
you. I'm
it has
receiving.
because that has been this really special time I share with myself, and I've had a lot of awakenings that I didn't even know I needed. So I did, but I didn't, and they're coming up in different ways.
Hmm.
So I appreciate that. Coming up April 20th, the Women's Wellness Fest. Women are coming from all over the country, which is so cool. Cool little fun story is I met a woman on a trip in South Florida. We've just stayed connected through Instagram. And she texted me yesterday. It's like, it's my 50th birthday. I'm coming to the Women's Wellness Fest. I'm like, yeah, like a woman I met one time. And so cool that we are still connected. So there are people coming from everywhere. And then a mom-daughter retreat. That's something I'm really proud of. And that will be this summer in Costa Rica because our time with our daughters is the most precious time. And as they're growing, it is there's for me, my daughter's a senior, so I am really, really, really looking forward to that retreat because it means a lot in my heart. So yeah.
Super awesome. Yes, we're in the same place at the same time. It's it's bittersweet. It feels so good to in my experience, to see what a young, beautiful, conscious person my daughter has become, and so brave. And at the same time, it's like letting them go is just to be who they are. It's just it's sweet, and it's also, it's a stage of life that usually comes with perimenopause or menopause just because of the age that we are. So I feel you in that, and I have certainly participated and hosted in mother-daughter retreats as well, and I can't speak to how special that time is with our daughters. So sounds like a beautiful offering. All right. Well, thank you so much. Thank you to all the listeners. Please let us know what questions you have. Tell us where all the listeners can find you and find more about the offerings that you have through Radiate Wellness.
So radiatewellnessproducts.com. Everything's on the website, and then it's womenswellnessfest.com. So hopefully I'll get to meet everyone in person one day that's listening because I would love that. And yeah, if there's anything I could do to support any listener on their journey, I am here.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Mary Beth, for everything that you've created for women in our community, beyond our community, at this stage of life. It's an honor to have you as a guest on this show. So appreciate you coming on.
Appreciate you. Thank you so much. Have a beautiful day.
All right. Thank you so much for listening in. Aloha.